Hello friends, my name is Mohsin Mullah and I welcome you all to the next video lecture on in the series of video lectures for unit number 6 pneumatic controls. So in the previous video lectures 1 and 2 we have already seen about various components of pneumatic control, and also we have seen the we can see the types of controllers we can obtain, that is open loop controller and closed loop controller with the help of pneumatic control components. So here in this particular video lecture we are going to see about pneumatic proportional controller. Okay, so consider the pneumatic proportional controller as shown in figure here. So basically this controller consists of many components which are familiar to us because already we have seen these components in previous two video lectures. So in this particular figure we can clearly identify the very first element that we had seen, that is a nozzle, a flapper amplifier. Okay, so here you see the flapper nozzle amplifier. Okay, so then there is the tube which will carry the input pressure. Okay, and there is a control pressure, nozzle pressure value P2, and then there is a air relay. So as we had seen earlier that air relay will help the overall system to work for higher pressure values, which only with the help of flapper nozzle pressure amplifier is not possible. Then also we see some feedback arrangement with the help of two bellows. Here two bellows indicated with the area AF and A2, and two springs K2 and KF. So together this combination will provide an feedback for the working of this particular proportional controller. Now this total arrangement is called as a proportional controller because it acts as controller in pneumatic system, generating output pressure proportional to the input displacement E. Okay, so whatever output pressure we are going to get here finally, so I can just try to write the rough expression here. So the output pressure P naught will be directly proportional to E. So finally we are going to get to this particular equation. So to arrive at that equation, first we need to convert the entire actual pneumatic components into the mathematical blocks represented with the help of mathematical equations. Then we can convert those mathematical equations into simpler forms, thereby arriving at the final required expression of P naught is proportional to E. Okay, so now to understand the working of this particular proportional controller here, so let us consider basically the work. This controller will be fixed with a position of this flapper nozzle amplifier. Okay, so it will be fixed. So it will be fixed with the help of either electronic pneumatic control signal converter that we had already seen, or some other with the help of a two bellows. Okay, so that can also be used to balance it at a particular level. So we will not go into the details how it has been done. So now let us say that it has been done, and it is kept at a particular position to maintain the pressure P2 here, so that the output pressure through the air relay maintained at the required value. Okay, so now let us consider a condition when the displacement is increased, that is this input displacement is moving towards the right hand side. Now when this moves towards right hand side, what will happen? The pressure at the nozzle side will decrease, that is P2 value will decrease. When the pressure P2 decreases, so here this bellow will starts contracting. So when it starts contracting, so obviously it is going to pull back the spring. So because of which what will happen, this Y will be in the opposite direction, the displacement will be in the opposite direction. So therefore the valve in this air relay will be moved upward side. So because of which the more input air will be coming from here, so therefore high pressure will be obtained here in the air relay. So that high pressure will be now going to the output. So that high pressure will also be sensed by this another bellow P naught. So that output pressure is sensed by this. So here this bellow will be expanding. So when it expands, so it will push this spring to the right hand side, towards left hand side, sorry. So with the displacement of Z. So now this movement will make the flapper nozzle again come back to its original position, thereby again making the P2 to the original value, thereby making P0 to the its original value. So now we have seen that small change in this E has caused certain change in the output P0, and it has been maintained again back to the normal value with the help of feedback mechanism that is in place in this particular working here. So now let us try to obtain the different mathematical equations for this particular working. So one thing we need to understand is we have to consider always the displacement versus the output. So therefore first we have to see the characteristics that we have already seen in the first video lecture, the characteristics of this pneumatic control. So here we have the characteristics. So as the displacement increases, so obviously the pressure is going to decrease, and if the displacement decreases, the pressure is going to increase, that we have seen. Okay, and when the displacement is 0, at that time the pressure will be exactly equal to the input pressure, and when the displacement is too large, the pressure will be equal to the atmospheric pressure. So now we will not consider those extreme conditions. Let us talk about the practical conditions. Now the displacement at a certain say position. Okay, so now let us say that operating range we are going to consider, it is going to move in a particular range only. It is not going to move from extreme conditions from 0 to like very large value of xi. So now let us say that it has moved by a little bit value. Okay, so here let us say that it has come to a coordinate xi 0. Okay, so xi is towards x-axis, 0 is for the y. Similarly on the y-axis, the coordinate value is P2 y coordinate, and x coordinate value is 0. So this is, so intersection of these two will give us one point on the characteristics. So now this characteristics is changing, and also we can see that it is negative slope. As the displacement is increasing, the pressure is decreasing, so it is a negative slope kind of characteristics. So therefore with the help of Taylor series, okay, so we can try to obtain the smallest change, and its slope can be determined by using the Taylor series. Now to obtain the Taylor series, basically Taylor series is nothing but the smallest slope of the change, whatever change is taking place in this curve, so smallest change it is going to give. And for this kind of nature of the curve, first order Taylor's expression is sufficient. We need not consider the higher order terms of that Taylor series expression, because here it is a simple curve. So now if you take the first order Taylor's expression here, so slope is nothing but, first try to understand, slope is nothing but the change in the y value, delta y value divided by delta x value. So now let us say that delta y and delta x in terms of derivative is called as dou, and here it is. So dou y is nothing but dou value at P2 that we have already obtained the coordinates P2O on y axis and xio on the that x axis. So therefore this is what we are going to get the delta y value, and this is delta x value. So that times x. Okay, so that is going to give us the value that is slope minus k1. Okay, so therefore P2 depends upon the that slope minus k1 times the input x. So what is input x here? So input x is nothing but the small displacement, it is not the very large displacement. So here we are considering, say let us say it has moved by a very small displacement x, so this is the value x. So we are going to get that x also later, so try to remember. So with respect to that small change x, so we are trying to obtain, and with the help of this slope what we can get is that slope multiplied by the input, we are going to get the output. So this small displacement is going to give us the small pressure P2. Okay, I hope you understood this expression here. So now let us move towards the getting the other expressions here. So basically expression for the output pressure or any other pressure with the help of bellow can be obtained here. So here similarly we can say with the help of this, first of all with the help of this flapper nozzle amplifier characteristics, air relay characteristics is also similar to that, so that can also be linearized. Okay, so what we just did is linearized the normal non-linear nature of the flapper nozzle amplifier characteristics. Okay, so similarly here also we are going to linearize the air relay characteristics, which will also follow the same type of nature. Therefore we can arrive at a kind of expression, as that also is going to have the negative slope. So that P naught equal to minus K naught times Y, because here if you observe, air relay is directly giving the output P naught. So here everywhere the pressure is P naught. So we are getting P naught value for the input displacement Y. Okay, so therefore here the input displacement for this expression is Y, and the slope is minus K naught. So therefore it is actually indicating the decrease in the pressure, as the displacement is going to come in the downward direction. Okay, that is the positive direction of that particular valve, because as the Y increases, so here pressure will start decreasing, therefore P naught will decrease. That is how the negative characteristics is related again. Okay, so that is with regards to P naught value. So that will be the final output. So you need to remember P naught is equal to minus K naught times Y. Okay, so we are going to substitute various terms here. So let us say what is Y. So Y can be obtained from the here input, change in the input or pressure here equal to output. So that can be obtained by using the, so input parameters at this point are P2 and A2. Change in the deflection in the that bellow, and the applied pressure P2 will cause the expansion in the spring, that is the displacement Y times the spring constant. So we can say that A2 P2 will be equal to K2 Y in case of this particular bellow. Similarly, in case of this bellow here, so here also there is same thing is happening. So here P naught AF is changing Z and KF. Okay, so this input value will be equal to this output value here. So both will be, that is the equilibrium condition is obtained when both are same. Okay, so whatever input applied expansion and the output expansion are equal here. So by using that expressions that K2Y equals to P2 A2, we can obtain Y equal to, so this Y equal to is A2 divided by K2 times P2. Then similarly from the other pair we can obtain KFZ equals to P naught AF, as I explained earlier. Okay, so that will be equal to, therefore from there we can obtain Z is equal to AF divided by KF times P naught. So we got these different expressions. First we got the P naught expression, okay, then this expression, and finally we have got this expression. So now there is also one more expression, that is nothing but the X value. So we will now try to obtain that small displacement X. Okay, so now here to understand this particular X value, you need to just understand one simple concept here, that is potential divider. So with the help of that, it is very simple to understand. Say here it is having, so now suppose input is applied from this side. Okay, so that input voltage is say X volts, that is applied, here I will take input as E volts, not X, sorry, X is output our, so output X is obtained at this particular point here. Okay, and let us say that here the two values are considered, this side it is say alpha, okay, and this side it is beta times. So now when the resistance values are like alpha and beta, when the current will flow here, so that current will be available as I equals to E divided by alpha plus beta. And if you want to obtain the X voltage, that is voltage X with respect to this other terminal, so that X will be equals to beta times that resistance times the current I. So therefore it will be beta times this value. So therefore when I substitute that, finally what I get is X will be equal to beta times this current value. So beta times, or beta divided by, I can write this alpha plus beta here times E. So this is for this particular case. Now suppose there is another input which is available from the other end. Okay, so suppose there is another input which is available from the other end, and that end input is say Z. Okay, and this time this is considered as 0. So again we are going to obtain X, again it is alpha and again it is beta. So this time what should be X? Okay, so what should be X value? Now this X value is calculated with respect to this ground position, this terminal. So from here to here, so this time it will be alpha times the current. So current is again Z divided by alpha plus beta. Okay, so this time the input is Z, so the current will be Z divided by alpha plus beta. Therefore, if I want to obtain X here, so this X will be equal to, so first element is that resistance is alpha divided by beta times Z. So this is what I am going to get X here. Okay, now the total potential if I want to obtain at X, so it will be because of the both inputs E and Z. In that case, this will not be simple one expression, but it will be difference of the two. So exactly same expression has been considered here. Okay, so you can see X equal to beta by alpha plus beta times E minus alpha divided by alpha plus beta times Z. So here we have that representation given. So upper side is alpha, lower side is beta. The same analogy I have used here to make you understand this expression. Okay, so this video is going to be little bit lengthier, but if you keep concentrated and keep your interest in the video, you'll understand a lot of mathematical concepts, and you'll also understand how we exactly develop any control system. Okay, how we develop the blocks of the control system. Okay, so be patient and be with the video here. So now we have got this expression. Now this is one expression, and earlier also we have got so many other expressions. Okay, so now we can try to obtain the block representation of these expressions. Okay, so right now you do not concentrate on all the blocks. Let us just concentrate on the basic things. Let us say just X. What is X here? It is E times beta by alpha plus beta. So what we have written, E times beta divided by alpha plus beta minus alpha divided by alpha plus beta times Z. So two input signals should come, and they should get multiplied with two blocks. One is this, another one is this, and one summer should be there, so with one positive sign and one negative sign. Okay, so now E is coming from this side multiplied with this beta divided by alpha plus beta. So here it is plus sign, and another signal is coming from this side, okay, which is Z times alpha divided by alpha plus beta, and it is negative. Obviously this Z is coming from where? Z is coming from the feedback, that is output. Now what is Z? So if you see the expression for Z here, what is Z? Z is nothing but AF divided by KF times P naught. So it is feedback value. Okay, so therefore where is P naught available? At the final output value. Okay, do not bother about these expressions right now. So from here P naught is obtained, and it is multiplied by one term AF divided by KF. So let us take that gain AF divided by KF. So we get the output Z. Now this Z is multiplied by alpha divided by alpha plus beta, and this is signal here and this signal here together will give us X. Okay, so that is what X is obtained here. Okay, so now going back to the pressures. Okay, so now to see the pressure, so first pressure is what? P2. Okay, so first expression that we had obtained was P2, and P2 equals to minus K1 times X. So first we will try to obtain one signal which will pass through the gain K. Okay, so here X will pass through the gain minus K1, and we get the P2. Okay, so now the second expression that we are going to obtain here is for P0. Now what is P0? P0 expression we have obtained, which is K0 times minus K0 times Y. Okay, so therefore there should be one K0 term, and there should be one signal which is Y. Now what is signal Y? Y is nothing but, for that in signal Y, input is P2, and there is a gain of E2 by K2. So already we have got P2 here. Okay, so we have already got P2 here, so we just multiply the gain E2 by K2 to that P2 value, and we are going to get Y here. So now that Y is multiplied by the gain minus K0, and we are going to get P out. So therefore that P out is again fed here. So you have already seen this signal how we have obtained. Okay, so now like this we have obtained the overall block representation of the entire pneumatic controller, what we had represented with the actual elements there. Okay, so now we'll try to simplify this block representation to get the final expression for P0. Okay, so let us do that. So first thing that we are going to do is do the cancellation of some blocks. So first of all, what I'm going to do here, beta divided by alpha plus beta, here alpha divided by alpha plus beta, denominator is same but numerators are different. I will make the numerator of first term similar to that by taking beta by alpha common. Okay, so if I take beta, so beta will come directly here. So to take alpha, I need to take in the denominator also. So therefore alpha will come here. So so alpha plus beta and alpha plus beta. Now what I will do, I will move this summing point towards left hand side. So what will happen, so this will move here, and at the same time there will be one inverse block of that will come in this particular place. Inverse block means what? Alpha plus beta divided by alpha. Now this alpha plus beta divided by alpha into alpha divided by alpha plus beta, so these are say dividing each other, so these blocks will get cancelled and it will become equal to 1. So therefore what we get is this block, so that alpha plus beta has been moved here, or you can say the summing point has been moved here, and alpha plus beta is inside, and this block has been converted into 1. So the remaining term here, whatever multiplication was there, so that term has been converted into k dash in the first case. Okay, so now k dash is the entire representation that we'll write later what is k dash, and here another block. Okay, so the here total multiplication is, say this we can convert into k double dash. Okay, and this is k double dash, and sorry, not only this, so totally this entire representation is converted into k double dash. Okay, so again we are going to write what is k double dash, as we know the for the negative feedback what is the expression for this kind of representation. So the input signal E going through beta by alpha is same here, then simplification of this entire will give us k dash. Okay, so that block, and output is this. So directly you can see P naught equals to beta by alpha times k double dash. So here I will just write for this first case, P naught equals to beta by alpha k double dash times E. So here itself you can see it is directly proportional, but still we can simplify what is k double dash here. Okay, first of all, what is k dash? So multiplication of minus k1 and minus k naught will make positive k1 into k naught, and there was one term a2 by k2, so that is here, if you see here a2 by k2. Okay, so you can go back again to the this particular file and you can see the expressions. So then second expression is k double dash, so it is nothing but the first block divided by 1 plus that block multiplied with the other block of the second path. Okay, so this is g1 divided by 1 plus g1 times gf, that is this feedback block. Okay, so this you will get expression like this. Now from this expression what we can assume is the denominator term. So this denominator term is a too large term, it is not a smaller term, so it is far greater than say 1. So when it is far greater than 1, in that case we can directly write k double dash equals to kf divided by af. Now you might get confused how exactly this expression has been obtained. So this is the beauty of mathematics. So when you take this expression here, this logical relationship, so what I can write from this, alpha divided by alpha plus beta times k dash is far greater than af by kf. Okay, af by kf. Now again I can remove this by taking some say random number, say I will take it as 100, so it is equal to 100 times af. Now 100 is far greater than 1, that we can accept. Okay, so now alpha divided by alpha plus beta times k dash is 100 times af by kf. Sorry, if I take to the other side it will be kf by af. Okay, so the numerator will be kf and the denominator will be af. So kf divided by af, 100 times kf divided by af. So here you see alpha divided by alpha plus beta times k dash. So this I can replace now by 100 times kf by af. Okay, and also in the denominator we have 1 plus the same thing, 100 times kf by af times there is another term, this af by kf. Okay, so af by kf. So now this term and this term are going to cancel each other. So what we get is 100 divided by 101 times kf by af. Now 100 divided by 101, you can consider that is almost equal to 1. So therefore here it is approximately equal to kf by af. Okay, so therefore here k double dash is approximately equal to that 100 divided by 101 will make it like 0.9999, so you can take it approximately 1 times kf divided by af. Okay, so the entire k double dash will be replaced by kf by af, which are the actual constants of the systems we are using. Therefore, if I take the expression of that output, p naught equals to beta by alpha times. So once again, if I take that, so now p naught is equals to beta divided by alpha times, or it is say approximately equal, if you can consider, times k double dash. So k double dash is what now? Kf by af times e. Okay, so this is the output which is being controlled by the input e, and this is the proportionality constant of that controller. So therefore it is a proportional controller. So with this particular, you can say, explanation, you have understood how exactly the actual pneumatic systems can be converted into a mathematical model that can now be replaced by some. So this can be very easily replaced by some you can say electronic system or any other thing, to just understand the working. If you want to replace that pneumatic by some advanced you can say softwares or electronic systems, it can be done based on this simple expression that we have obtained here. Okay, so in the next video lecture we are going to see about the pneumatic proportional plus derivative controller. Okay, till then you can watch the video once again to understand the concept much clearly, and try to prepare for reversal based on the whatever PDF I am going to provide for this particular video lectures here. Till then, happy learning. Thank you.